as a philosophy, talk about you can, and this could just be your philosophy. It doesn't have to be the philosophy, but when to be passive versus aggressive, what moments
Okay.
and stuff like that
So let's
on
just
the
say we're
penalty
in a
kill.
box. That's us. We're X. They're O's. Oh, no. I don't even need them. Yeah, I'll do that. They're O. Okay.
Yep.
If this guy has the puck right now, he's outside the dots. I'm not really aggressive. He's got full possession of the puck. He's got full possession of the puck. He passes it over. He's got full possession of the puck, and there's not a lot of movement. And they're in full possession, and they're outside these dots. Like, that's the goal of defending, is to keep them outside the dots, because if they're scoring from out in these areas, then it's just the goalie's fault. We should expect the goalie to make that save, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's so if that puck can move around all day, I don't care. Like, who cares? Because they're not going to score, and they're not really in shooting lanes either. So it's when they start to move, right? And I'm not saying be aggressive just because, like, let's say it's overloaded here. I'm not saying that just because the puck moves here that we have to be aggressive. If they got possession, it's fine. But if he starts to move, depending on, like, if he bobbles or something like that, that's when you want to be a little more aggressive. But you want to mirror that and take the lanes, right? So you're moving a little bit. Where you become aggressive is, like, let's say he throws this back down and it's a bad pass, and now he's like playing around with the puck, or it's a bad pass that's in no man's land. That's when you want to get aggressive. That's when you want to work your ass off and put pressure on them.
Okay, so might seem like an obvious question. If they have full possession and you have a kid that's over aggressive, like what are the negative consequences of a guy who's too aggressive when they have full possession?
Okay, if this puck goes to him, they got full full possession. If you're like really aggressive on this, and, well, basically you're coming here real hard. If this guy has any brains at all, you've opened up this area of the ice. So now it doesn't even have to be a really great pass. He puts it in there. And now what that does is gets this guy possibly out of position, this guy out of position, like, you create chaos, or you just leave that free lane to get a shot or create different 2-on-1. So what you've done is you've created a 2-on-1 without the other team trying. You know what I mean? So you don't want to do that. You don't want to create a 2-on-1 or a 3-on-1 because you just got horny to get a puck for no reason.
Right. So my thing that I said to your next point about when to go, if it's a bad pass. So these are my three things that I say.
No,
this is more
right.
this would be more for older kids, because sometimes younger kids can't identify the three things that I'm saying. So the first thing is, if there's like a bobbled puck, bad pass, like that situation. So I'll normally just use the word, if they bobble the puck. If you see they're having a hard time handling it, go. That's one. If they have their back to you, that would be another time to press them, because they're not seeing the whole ice, so their options will be limited. Or if they're on their backhand, because not many players can make really good plays on their backhand. If you're playing Leon Draisaitl, then watch out, because he's really good on his backhand. Yeah, right. But if you're in most youth levels, even up into junior, not a lot of guys are really, really good on their backhand. So those are my three things that I say. Now, if you need to dumb it down for younger groups, it could just be, if you see the puck on the wall, you go. And that's their only thing, and it's just to keep them from getting confused or running around. But it's good to have some cues of when they should be passive versus aggressive on the penalty kill, even at the older ages. Like I said, with you have a U18 team right now, and we're doing a more complex version of a penalty kill that also requires a good amount of teaching, because it's easy to get confused. But those are my cues, my three cues for them. It's like the 3B thing. People like using stuff like that as cues, and they're starting to figure out how to identify that on the ice and see it in real time when the game is moving and things are fast. So I think that's an important conversation to have about penalty kill, is like the patience versus aggressive, when to do which. Otherwise, you get guys that just run around everywhere, and that's where a lot of seams open up, because you are down a guy, right? I think that's kind of all I have.
What I would say, though, in addition to this, is in the penalty kill, and I would say this in your D zone as well, is that a lot of the times you'll see, like,
board or no board.
Yeah. No,
Okay.
it doesn't matter.
Okay, whatever.
We'll leave it like this. Just why not?
Yeah.
So let's just say you do get possession as a penalty killer. You get the possession and you're on your backhand. Let's say, like, I'm a lefty here and I'm skating it out and I'm on my backhand and I want to get it out, yeah, I would be on my backhand there. Like try your best to not backhand the puck out because you never know what type of velocity if you're going to get wood on it or not. So if you can, like, get that to your forehand and hammer it out. Um, and then the next phase would be when you do go to ice the puck, or if you're especially if you're throwing it off the walls, is get some air under the puck. So because the worst thing, like the thing that sucks, is you see someone get possession, like a penalty kill possession, and you go to or D zone, right? And you go to get the puck out, and you do a really hard rim, let's say, but it's on the ice, and now it's on the ice, and this kid it just has to put a stick there. It doesn't take much to keep it out of the in the zone, or a skate or anything, right? So if at least if you get a couple inches on it or more is preferable. Now, like you might not get it out, which you should, but at least this isn't as easy, right? You might have to put a hand down and then bobble that or whatever. So like you've made their just a little thing like that is try to get it off the glass even or whatever, so that if it doesn't have the velocity, that this guy has to work to keep it in instead of just making it like a hard pass to him to make his life easy,
Yeah.
right? So that's
Yeah.
just the last thing I would add to that.
So then my last thing, just from like a mindset standpoint, is you are down a person, so everything should be that much harder. Like this common coaching shit all the time is just like make sure you bear down on the puck, make sure you're keeping your feet moving when you're supposed to, stops and starts, not doing the circles. Everything's got to be a little bit tighter, a little bit more urgent. You have to be a little bit harder because you have to make up for the fact that you're down a guy, and that's an important thing that kids need to understand when they're down is plays like that where you have an opportunity to get it out, like get it out, man. You need to get it out. One, just because it's good we're on the penalty kill, but two, guys might be tired. Guys might need a change. We've been stopping and starting and doing our penalty kill the right way. All those things, you have an opportunity to get it out. Nothing deflates the balloon more than a guy that throws a muffin to the blue line and it hits the guy and they keep it in and now we're stuck for another 30 seconds or whatever, right? So so that's it. Anything else you want to say from a special teams perspective? We could talk for another 3 hours about face-offs and different situations, but just as a general
No,
outline.
real vague. Like it's vague right now, and it's vague for a reason because like you can. I mean, there's power play meetings with high end teams, and they go through the minor detail or the major details, minor details, left hand shot, right hand shot, an inch this way, like all that stuff. I think the principle of it is just like in the offensive zone in the power plays, you're trying to have a little bit of movement, get the pucks to the net, and create 2-on-1s if you can. And when you're defending on a PK, is have patience when you have to. Try to get guys to the outside, and like you said, defend really hard when you can, like when it's appropriate. And those are just the principles, and you can add all kinds of things and take things away as much as you want.
Mhm.